It's time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, Prime Ticket presents the Dodgers as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Monday evening to you, wherever you may be. Game one of the three-game series with the Rockies. 2 streaks on the line. The Dodgers, with a sweep, have now won 3 in a row. The Rockies come here having been swept 3 in a row by the San Francisco Giants. The pitching for tonight, it'll be the left-handed Drew Pomeranz on the mound for the Rockies. Pomeranz pitched against the Dodgers once here this year, and he was brilliant. He went 6 2/3 innings, held the Dodgers to only 1 run, left the game with a 2-run lead, and the bullpen let it get away. As for the Dodgers, Chris Capuano looking for his 11th win. He is 1-1 against the Rockies this year, winning here at home. His earned run average at home with a 5-3 record here, 2.1. We'll get to the ball game and a whole lot more coming up right after this. By Hyundai. If it's stylish, intelligent, safe, and affordable, it's probably a Hyundai. By AT&T, the nation's largest 4G network. AT&T, rethink possible. By CarMax, start the search for your next car at CarMax. And by Dodge.
Moments away from Dodger baseball tonight on Prime Ticket. Rockies in town for 3 before that long 10-game road trip. So try to continue on what they've been doing. We woke up to some news today with Tony Gwynn Jr. being designated for assignment. Jerry Sands has been called up from AAA, where he has been absolutely crushing it. He's got a 10-game hitting streak with the Isotopes, had 2 grand slams in 1 game with Kenny and Steve. Kenny, you being a speedy outfielder, is a surprising move the Dodgers made today, in your opinion?
It's very surprising because the Dodgers need a speedy outfielder, a speedy guy that can go out there and steal a base late in the game, and also he's good at pinch hitting. And that's something, that's an art. Like I talked to Steve earlier today, that's sitting on the bench and then going out there and we get a big hit or get a hit, that's very tough.
Yeah, and that's what the Dodgers did. They traded speed for power, and Tony Gwynn was their best pinch hitter. There's no question about that. But they have no home runs off the bench as far as pinch hitting late in the game. Jerry Sands might be able to provide that for you as a bench player, and he will get some at-bats against left-handed pitching as he is today. Ethier and Loney are both out of the lineup. Occasionally, and Loney will be out of the lineup against lefties quite often. He can get some playing time there.
Well, as for Tony Gwynn, he is a very good player and a quality person. So whatever happens with him, we wish him well, and we know he's going to catch on. Taking a break, coming back. We have first pitch next with Vin calling it.
Only $4.99 plus tax at participating stores. By San Manuel Indian Bingo and Casino, your place for summer excitement. By 76 Gas, we're on the driver's side. And by Time Warner Cable. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant good evening to you on this Monday night. Welcome to Dodger Stadium as they open up a 3-game series with the Colorado Rockies. The Dodgers have won 5 of 9 from Jim Tracy's club, beating them 3 straight here. However, when the Dodgers went to Denver, the Rockies beat them 4 out of 6. Couple of streaks on the line tonight. Jim Tracy's club comes in, having been swept in 3 by the Giants. Dodgers, meanwhile, swept the Cubs in 3. Talking about the Giants, they're in St. Louis, and the Cardinals are leading the Giants 5-2, bottom of the 6th inning. There's a direct contrast between the two teams when you look at them, as the Rocky team is much younger overall than the Dodger team. And what it really points out, the Rockies are building for the future. And, of course, the Dodger battle can be summed up in one word: now. As we look at Dexter Fowler, we'll also take a look at Jim Tracy's lineup. Eric Young's Jr. He's the leadoff man in right field. Dexter Fowler in center. Jordan Pacheco at third. Carlos Gonzalez in left, hitting cleanup. Ramon Hernandez behind the plate. Matt McBride at first. Chris Nelson at second base. Jonathan Herrera at short. Drew Pomeranz on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, it'll be Chris Capuano. He is 1-1 against the Rockies. Pitched very well against them here. Got clobbered in Denver, as so many pitchers do. He is 5-6 lifetime against the Colorado Rockies. He's been brilliant at home, an earned run average of 2.1. The scores, when he faced Colorado here, he went 7 and allowed just 1 earned run. When he was in Colorado, he went 5 1/3 and gave up 7 runs. So what a difference a city makes. And Capuano home, we'll see how he goes tonight. Eric Young, son of, sure, Eric Young, who's a treasure in the history books, first of the Dodgers, and of course later on with the Colorado Rockies. If I remember correctly, when they opened up at the Mile High Stadium, his daddy hit the first home run ever there on opening day. EY has been a very good source for the Colorado Rockies. Coming off the bench, he takes a strike. He is number 1 in the league. He has 13 pinch hits. Turned down a scholarship to Villanova, went junior college to concentrate on baseball. Swings, doesn't get it. Switch hitter, batting right-handed against Capuano. The temperature right now, 78 degrees. Capuano with a new ball, 2-strike count. EY waiting, and the strike 2 pitch on the way. Swung on, pulled down the left field line, and it will be caught by Victorino. In fact, it dropped in front of him as he raced to the line. So it'll be a fly ball single for Young, and Victorino hustled to get it back in. And the batter now will be Dexter Fowler. Dexter Fowler hitting .290 as Victorino comes in and plays the ball on a hop. Fowler has 12 home runs, 40 runs batted in, and of course he is a real daddy long legs, covers a lot of ground in center field in Denver, and with 11 triples, you know he can really fly. The pitch to Dexter, he takes a little low, and a 1-ball, no-strike count. So Fowler, one of the veterans, although he is a young man, but he's been playing for the Rockies since 2006. 26 years old. Though they have switch hitters back to back, Young and Fowler. EY, whose dad, of course, is in the Rockies record books with stolen bases, and he's a chip off the old block. He has stolen 12 out of 14, but at the same time, Capuano does very well in holding runners. Chris ready and delivers, and the pitch swung on and missed. Looked like Fowler was trying to take a shot to right field. 1 ball and 1 strike. If you are a base runner against Capuano, as Fowler checks with Rich Dower, you know that he's got a very good pickoff. He's picked off 34 in his career. One year he picked off 12. 1-1 pitch instead, throw to first, and EY back on the bag. His dad, Eric Young Sr., is the first base coach for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Chris out of his stretch. Capuano keeping one eye on Young and goes over there again. So 1 ball and 1 strike. The Rockies as a team have stolen 69 bases. The Dodgers have stolen 72. One reason would be D. Gordon, who has stolen 30 all by himself. 1-1 the count. Capuano set. Young bluffs. A bunt is missed, and the count 1-2. So Fowler trying to bunt on the move, was not trying to sacrifice, and the count 1-2. Waiting on deck, Jordan Pacheco. So Dexter Fowler out of Alpharetta, Georgia. If you need a man to go from first to third on a single, he's your man. The 1-2 pitch is yet another throw to first. The other thing that Fowler has learned to do is a little more discipline at the plate. He's walked 48 times. That would get him up in the top 7 as far as percentages to at-bats. 1-2 pitch on the way is swung on and missed, and down he goes. So Fowler strikes out. Young holding at first, and the batter will be Jordan Pacheco.
Number 22, Jordan Pacheco.
In the heat, which is hard to say. But in the heat in Los Angeles, Chris Capuano backing out for the moment. Take a breather. And Pacheco checks in. Jordan Pacheco hitting .307 with a home run. 25 runs batted in. Capuano ready, comes to the hitter. Swung on, popped in the air, foul, and out of play. Pacheco is very much of a contact hitter. He's hitting in the number 3 slot. When you look in his minor league records, he hardly ever struck out. 48 times in 400 plate appearances, 36 times, 27 times. And Pacheco right now has only struck out 30 times in about 300 plate appearances. So with Young at first base and 1 out, Jordan takes a breaking ball at his feet. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's from Albuquerque, New Mexico. Went to the University of New Mexico. 6'1", 190. He can play catch. He's also a third baseman, and he's at third tonight. 1-1 pitch on the way, and Capuano's change is hit down the left field line for a base hit. Rounding second is Young. Victorino gives that up and throws into second, and Pacheco holds with a base hit to left. So a high changeup, and Pacheco, as usual, makes contact. EY going to third. So first and third for the Dodgers, 1 out, and the one remaining star for a while coming up, and that, of course, will be Cargo, Carlos Gonzalez. Without Troy Tulowitzki and without Todd Helton, there'd be a lot of people looking at the Rockies lineup saying, well, Todd's not there, Troy's not there, but Cargo is there. Tulowitzki is in the dugout working out. They say that Troy might be able to play in a couple of weeks. He's been out for about over 2.5 months with a bad groin pull. So here's Cargo, and he takes a look at the strike, and the count 0-1. Let's take a look, find out about Capuano and Garba. Gonzalez is 3 for 12, hitting .250 against him. Top of the first inning, runners at first and third, 1 away. On deck, Ramon Hernandez, the catcher. Gonzalez waiting, Capuano checks, back he comes and works a fastball low, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Chris Capuano trying to win his 11th. He is 10-7. Up against a tough customer in Carlos Gonzalez. Young down the line from third. Pacheco away from first, 1 away, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count. Gonzalez, left-hand batter waiting. Capuano decides to go to first, and the runners hold. Gonzalez had a good homestand. He hit .354. He's also hitting .308 against left-hand pitching. Earlier this year, he had a 29-game hitting streak at home. So the 1-1 pitch coming up. Capuano deliberate, works it on the outside corner for a strike, and the count 1-2. So Chris Capuano facing Carlos Gonzalez, a Gold Glove, a young player who hit for the Cycle 2 years ago. Last year he signed a 7-year deal, so he'll be with the Rockies for a long time. He does swing and miss a lot, though he's an aggressive hitter. We'll see what that means as he faces Capuano. The 1-2 pitch to Carlos Gonzalez. Swung on, hit in the air to left. Racing over is Victorino to pick it off. Tagging at third is EY to score standing up. Holding at first is Pacheco, and the Rockies are on the board and lead 1-0. Carlos Gonzalez with a fly ball picks up his 74th run batted in. So Ramon Hernandez coming up with a runner at first and 2 out. Hernandez hitting .219, 4 home runs, 22 runs batted in. He has bounced around a bit and has played for 5 teams over the last few years. He's out of Caracas, Venezuela. Jordan Pacheco at first base. He is 4 for 4 in stolen bases, so we'll see whether they run him or not. Hernandez, right-hand batter, swings right through the first one, and the count 0-1. Ramon from Caracas, 26 years. Check me on that. He's 36 years old. About 6', 225, though he has to watch his weight. Signed as a free agent by the Oakland A's. The strike one pitch is swung on and missed. So Hernandez now no balls and 2 strikes. Ramon backs out for the moment. Now checks back in. In the last 3 games in which Hernandez started, he has 6 hits. 0-2 the count. And time for the moment. Capuano turns, backs off the rubber, and goes to the far side of the mound. Rockies have a run. Young singled after Fowler struck out. Pacheco singled to put runners at first and third. Gonzalez hit a fly ball to left field to cash in a run. We're trying to figure out, and now we see Hanley Ramirez has something in his eye. It all started, Paul Schreiber, the second base umpire, hollered, and Capuano backed off the rubber. And then finally we see Ramirez coming over to be tended to. And now Hanley goes back to his position. So 0-2 the count to Ramon Hernandez. We told you the Cardinals are leading the Giants 5-2 in the 6th. The Pirates beat the Diamondbacks 4-0. 0-2 to the Rockies catcher. Capuano ready. Another look at first. Back with a fastball, line to center, but it carries right into Kemp's glove. So Hernandez hit that ball hard. For the Rockies, they get a run on 2 hits, leave a man. Drew Pomeranz heading for the mound, and the Rockies lead 1-0. And we go to the bottom of the first inning, 1-0 Colorado. Here's Don Mattingly's card. Shane Victorino in left field, Mark Ellis at second base, Matt Kemp in center, Hanley Ramirez hitting cleanup at short. Juan Rivera at first. Gary Sands has returned to the lineup and to the ball club. He's in right field, so Andre Ethier will get a rest against the left-hander. Luis Cruz at third base. A.J. Ellis grinding it out every day behind the plate. And, of course, Capuano on the mound. Drew Pomeranz with a record of 1-6. His victory against a very good ball club in Washington. For Pomeranz, we saw him here, and he went 6 2/3 innings, allowed only 1 run, left with a 2-run lead, and the game got away from the bullpen. So the Dodgers know he can pitch. He's from rather famous territory, William Faulkner area. That would be Oxford, Mississippi. So Drew Pomeranz, 6'5" and 230, went to the university, as did his father. His father led it for 4 years. And the first pitch to Victorino swung on, and the count 0-1. Shane Victorino hitting .255, 9 home runs, 40 runs batted in. Off to a slow start with the Dodgers, 2 for 17. Pomeranz, the next pitch is flared, and that's going to drop into left center for a base hit. Fowler picks it up, and Victorino will hold on. And the old story, it'll look like a line drive in the box score. Fly ball single to bring up Mark Ellis. So immediately, the Dodgers have the tying run aboard. Well, we were talking about Eric Young and his running speed. Shane Victorino has stolen 25 out of 29. And Victorino now with Mark Ellis, so the Dodgers could put a play on or just play straight steal, possibly hit and run. Ellis hitting .256, 4 home runs, 16 runs batted in. Pomeranz, long arms, a fastball at 93, in for a strike. For Pomeranz, he pitches like a hook and ladder. He is 6'5", 230, and boy, you can really see him extend that left arm before he finally releases. His father was an infielder for 4 years at Ole Miss. He misses high and away, and the count 1-1 strike. In fact, it was his father who taught him and his brother Stuart to throw the spike curve or the knuckle curve, however you want to use it. So Pomeranz looks in to get a sign. Now out of his stretch, eyeballing Victorino. Comes back to the plate, swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. So Mark Ellis with 2 strikes doesn't figure to be involved. One thing he does, he has tremendous patience at the plate, and the other, he is very, very adroit with going the other way. So we'll see what he does now. Pomeranz has walked 24 and struck out 43, so not quite 2-1. Victorino held on by McBride. And the 1-2 pitch, and that's inside, up around the ribs at 93, and the count 2-2. How did Pomeranz get here? Well, it was a deal that sent Ubaldo Jimenez from the Rockies to Cleveland. That brought Pomeranz, Alex White, Joe Gardner, and Matt McBride. 2-2 the count. The left-hander ready, very deliberate now. Just keep looking at Victorino and then backs off the rubber. The pitching for the series, we weren't sure coming in, but it's Pomeranz tonight, Jeff Francis, followed by Alex White. Drew Pomeranz set at the belt. A 2-2 pitch coming up. Victorino holding, and there's a line drive, base hit into center. Stopping at second is Victorino as Fowler gets it back in. So the Dodgers give up a run in the top of the first inning, and now they come roaring back against a Rockies ball team that comes in here with a very, very poor starting team. So Matt Kemp with an 8-game hitting streak heading to the plate. 2 on, nobody out, 1-0 in favor of the Rockies. Giants are losing, so the Dodgers have a huge opportunity. And Matt Kemp checking in. Matt, during this 8-game hitting streak, is hitting .469, so that gets his batting average for the year up to .351 with 16 home runs. Pomeranz delivers, fastball strike, and the count 0-1. Drew Pomeranz and Matt Kemp. How did that work out? Well, we will check. Matt Kemp 0 for 1 against him. Actually walked twice, struck out once. Pomeranz out of a stretch. A look at the runners. A lot of speed out there. And the strike one pitch fouled away. And the count 0-2 to Matt Kemp. Rockies, of course, playing with nothing to lose. Every pitch and every play so important for the Dodgers. For Jim Tracy, tough time for him. His club has lost 8 out of 10, 3 straight, 20 games back of the Giants, buried in last place. Tough for a young ball club. They are 30 games under 500. The strike 2 pitch, instead a bluff to second, and Victorino back on the bag. Ellis holding at first. No balls, 2 strikes. Pomerantz very deliberate now. He's in trouble. And the strike 2 pitch to Matt Kemp. Again, he comes off the rubber and bluffs a throw. Among the Dodgers all time who have at least had 200 plate appearances in a season, Matt Kemp's slugging percentage of .649 is topped by only 2 other players. Manny Ramirez 4 years ago, Babe Herman way back in 1930. Here's the strike 2 pitch to Matt Kemp. Pomerantz has to deliver eventually, and it's a pitch high, a fastball, and the count now 1-2. In comparing the 2 clubs with Hanley Ramirez on deck, the Dodgers average 30 years and almost 31 years old. That would make them the 2nd oldest team in the major leagues. 1-2 pitch to Matt Kemp, fouled away. For the Rockies, their average is 27 years, almost 28. They are the 5th youngest team in Major League Baseball. So as we said, basically at this stage for the Rockies, building for the future, and for the Dodgers, the word is now. 1-2 the count. Rockies still drawing very well at home, averaging around 35,000 a game at Denver. Pomerantz very deliberate, 2 on, nobody out. Back he comes with a fastball swung on and missed. A 93-mile-an-hour challenge, and Kemp unable to catch up to it. 1 away. In the Rockies' first year of existence, that was back in 1993, they broke the all-time single-season attendance mark. They were playing in Mile High Stadium, basically a football stadium. What did they draw? 4,483,000 fans. So it's a great franchise. Won the division a couple of times, but going through a painful existence right now. So 1 away, Hanley Ramirez coming up. Ramirez had that walk-off single to left field yesterday and then was mobbed by the Dodgers. He tried to avoid Matt Kemp, and Andre Ethier finally brought him down. So Ramirez waiting, hitting .246, 15 home runs, 59 runs batted in. Pomerantz delivers high, ball 1, 1-0. Of course, it's nice to be excited. It's nice to be happy when you win a game. But when you think about it, it's very foolish on the Dodgers' part, and for that matter, any team's part, to run with youthful exuberation and then grab the guy and down he goes and everybody piles on top. It really doesn't make any sense. 1 ball and no strikes the count to Hanley. Pomerantz delivers. That's fouled away, and the count 1-1. I will always remember Vinny Lombardi, the famous football coach, whom I knew pretty well. And Vinny once told a wide receiver who had caught a touchdown pass, and you know, they go wild in the end zone, showing off, doing all kinds of stuff. And Vinny called the receiver over and said, when you score a touchdown, act as if you've been there before. In other words, that was all nonsense show. Well, it's more than show when they pile on top of each other. And all you have to do is talk to the Angels, and they'll tell you about climbing on top of a guy after he hit a home run. Meanwhile, 1-1 the count to Hanley Ramirez. Dodgers have 2 on, 1 away, and the Rockies lead 1-0. Hanley waiting. Pomerantz out of a stretch. Now the 1-1 pitch on the way. That's swung on and missed, and the count 1-2. That was 81. Up here looked like a breaking ball. As we said, he basically learned a knuckle curve. Some ball players call it a spike curve. He's got a fastball that he throws very easily at 94. He has a good changeup. And that's about it. 1-2 the count to Hanley Ramirez. Outfield deep, just about straight away. Pomeranz on and off the rubber, and Ramon Hernandez going out to talk to him. If you joined us a little late, Eric Young a fly ball single to left. With one out, Pacheco single to left, sending Eric to third. Gonzalez, Cargo, then hit a fly ball deep enough to pick up Young, and the Rockies were on the board, leading 1-0. Dodgers come right back. Victorino singles, then followed by Mark Ellis single, and got Kemp striking out. So first and second, one out, and the Rockies leading 1-0. Hanley Ramirez waiting at the plate. 1 of 3, fastball, spike curve, or changeup, and it's a fastball low and inside at 93. So 2-2 the count to Hanley Ramirez. 16 pitches made so far by Pomeranz here in the first inning. Capuano made 17 in his first inning. Pomeranz hands together up around the collarbone, looks at Victorino, checks him again. Now comes to the plate. Time requested by Ramirez. The plate umpire, Laz Diaz, usually points when there's a timeout requested, and Laz immediately pointed that it was Hanley calling it. Ramirez has been umpiring in the big league for 14 years. He worked several post games, including the World Series 2007. 2-2 pitch, low and inside, ball 3. So for Pomeranz, very deliberate before every pitch. He's got 2 on, 1 out. Juan Rivera waiting on deck, and Ramirez at the plate. Hanley Ramirez has grounded into 13 double plays, so let's see what that means. Runners take their leads. They are not going, and a little ground ball cutting across the shortstop, and fielding it is the third baseman Pacheco to make the play, and the runners move up to second and third. So Pacheco cutting across Herrera, and we have 2 down. Victorino is now at third, and Ellis has reached second, and the batter will be Juan Rivera. So Ramirez can just nudge them along a notch. And here is Rivera hitting .252. He has 5 home runs, 35 runs batted in. Juan's been very busy in left field, first base, right field, DH. He's hitting .288 with runners in scoring position, and he has 2 of them out there now. Pomeranz ready, delivers, fastball on the inside corner for a strike, and the count 0-1. Pomeranz very slow, very deliberate. Rivera 1 for 3 against him in the past. 1-0 Rockies first inning. Left-hander comes right back. Fastball sprayed foul off to the right upstairs. That's as hard as he's thrown. That last pitch hit 94. So 0-2 the count to Juan Rivera. And looking at Pomeranz with a runner at third, he does have 4 wild pitches. No balls and 2 strikes. Pomeranz out of his stretch, checks his runners again, comes back to Rivera, swung on and missed on a pitch up around the shoulders. So Rivera badly fooled. Dodgers get 2 hits and leave him in scoring position, and at the end of an inning, 1-0 Rockies. Inning. Matt McBride, the first baseman, will lead it off. He'll be followed by Chris Nelson and then Jonathan Herrera. Matt McBride, out of Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, went to school at Lehigh University, made his debut Saturday after 6.5 years in the minor leagues. Right-hand batter looks at Capuano's first pitch, and it's low, ball one, 1-0. Matt is 6'2", 215, 27 years old. His father would spend an hour every day pitching batting practice to him when he was in college after either the workout or the game. He lifts one into shallow right center. Coming is Sands, calling Ellis off the ball, and Jerry makes the catch. So McBride, a fly ball to shallow right, one away, and the batter now will be Chris Nelson. Chris Nelson, who had Tommy John surgery in his senior year of high school. And you hear more and more of that. Way back about 9 years ago, Chris led his team to the Connie Mack World Series title. He's out of Decatur, Georgia. Chris, right-hand batter, takes a strike, and the count 0-1. He was a first-round pick by the Rockies out of Redden High School. That's in Decatur. Brandon Phillips went to Redden, the talented second baseman of the Reds. Pitch is low, 1 ball and 1 strike, the count. So Chris Capuano, down 1-0, has made 21 pitches in the heat. Really hard and unusual to say that here. You never think heat would bother baseball players in Los Angeles, but once in a while. 1-1 fastball hit in the air down the right field line. Sands coming in a hurry in foul ground and makes the catch for the out. So Sands taking charge in right field. He ran Ellis off the ball on the fly ball to shallow right. Now he takes a full head of speed and makes a good running catch on Nelson. So Jonathan Herrera coming up. I think Jonathan Herrera is going to be known for a long, long time for one particular thing, if not more, an unusual injury that put him on the DL. His watch put him on the DL. He takes a pitch for a strike. His watch has an expanded wristband. Somehow or other, the expanded wristband cut him, turned into an infection, couldn't play. He takes the next pitch low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Jonathan Herrera. I'm sure when he finally came back, everybody asked him what time it is. Here's the 1-1 pitch, way out in front of a change, and the count 1-2. Jonathan is from Venezuela, from Maracaibo. He was a very good student, and he rolled the dice, so to speak. He left high school without finishing because he wanted to play baseball, and boy, that was a very difficult decision for his parents. He takes low, 2-2 the count. One of the better things that happened for Jonathan Herrera was in Modesto when he played Double-A with Troy Tulowitzki. Capuano ready in the 2-2 pitch on the way. Herrera takes low, ball 3. Tulowitzki, playing with him every day, saw Jonathan really get better. Pretty much of a good judge of talent. And all of a sudden he thought, you know what? This kid is a lot more than a long shot. Jonathan way out in front of another changeup. The Capuano fools him indeed. They go 1-2-3, and at the end of an inning and a half, Rockies 1, Dodgers 0. Couple of base hits and a fly ball. We can tell you they're in the top of the ninth inning in St. Louis. The Cardinals 8 and the Giants 2. So for the Dodgers, it could be moving day and a chance to get back into first place. But of course, they have to beat the Rockies to do it. Arizona, meanwhile, lost at Pittsburgh. Jerry Sands just called back today. Earlier this year, he played 8 games for the Dodgers before they sent him back. With Albuquerque, he had hit safely in 10 straight and was really knocking the ball sideways. Tied up and fouls the first pitch off. 0-1 the count to Jerry. Sands, ideal. He's 6'4", 220 out of Smithfield, North Carolina. Went to Catawba Community College. Big man on campus. Strike one pitch on the way is inside under the elbows. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Sands, in that 10-game hitting streak, he had 6 home runs and 21 runs batted in. The 1-1 pitch on the way, Jerry fouls it away, 1-2. Of course, and it's not a knock on Sands, but it seems like anybody who comes up from Albuquerque has great numbers. So apparently they too take advantage of the climate and the dimensions in Albuquerque. Still have to prove it up here. Pomerantz into the windup, and the 1-2 pitch is foul back. What we have seen a limited time watching Jerry Sands, his power is to right and right center field. However, the Rockies, since he's hitting against a left-hander, do not overly commit. They're fanned out straight away. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jerry Sands. Pomerantz ready, left-hander delivers way outside. 2-2 the count. Jerry Sands, in looking throughout his minor league career, has impressive numbers and power. The 2-2 pitch foul back. That's a very sneaky pitch. Pomerantz, who is 6'5", and by the time he fully extends that left arm, that ball's on top of you. He struck out Matt Kemp, struck out Juan Rivera, and he has a 2-2 count here on Jerry Sands, opening up the second inning. Pomerantz delivers that knuckle curve, and that's low, ball 3. He hadn't thrown that more than a couple of times. He's made 28 pitches. 3-2 the count to Sands. Pomerantz ready. Back with a pitch swung on and a fly ball to left field. Coming in for it is Gonzalez. Carlos makes the catch. So Jerry Sands, fly ball to left, 1 down, and the batter will be Luis Cruz. Of course, at the same time, it's to be noted for Sands. Earlier, whenever we saw him, he would hit the ball the other way. That time, he got around on it and got a little applause from his manager when he got into the dugout. I think they were happy to see, if nothing else, that he actually got on the pitch and pulled it. Here's Luis Cruz hitting .255, has a look at a strike, and the count 0-1. Luis Cruz leads the Dodgers since the All-Star break. 14 RBIs. The strike one pitch, he has a look at a strike, and the count 0-2. When the Dodgers first called him up, he had an RBI in each of his first 4 games. First time anybody did that since Jimmy Wynn way back in 1974. Strike 2 pitch swung on late and missed. It was a fastball way out of the strike zone. Cruz, one of those I don't really want to swing, but I've committed myself, and down he goes. Meanwhile, as the boys do in the dugout, as we draw in close, look at Ted Lilly. He doesn't know yet what's on top of his cap. Pretty bubble. As Roy Campanella said, and it goes down through the years, you have to have a lot of little boy in you. And the first pitch is a little low to A.J. Ellis. 3 strikeouts for Pomerantz, 2 out in the second inning. A.J. hitting .287, 10 home runs, 33 runs batted in. The next pitch down and away. 2-0 the count to A.J. Ellis in the last game against the Cubs had a single and a double. Had a base hit the game before that. And then, of course, had a memorable night with 2 home runs and a single against the Cubs. It is all over in St. Louis. The Cardinals have beaten the Giants 8-2. And that's game 1 of a 4-game series in the heat in St. Louis. 2-1 pitch coming up to A.J., and that's high. 3-1 the count. Pomeranz staying almost always with the fastball, and the fastball's been anywhere from 91 to 94. Thrown just a couple of those spike curves. 3-1 pitch on the way, and that hits Ellis, and he goes to first. Though Ellis hit by the pitch, slowly going to first. For Pomeranz, that's only the 3rd man that he's hit this year. For A.J. Ellis, it's the 3rd time he's been hit by a pitch. So the old story, don't rub, grit your teeth, bite the bullet, don't rub. That will bring up Chris Capuano with a runner at first and 2 out. 1-0 in favor of the Colorado Rockies. Capuano very good with sacrifice bunts, but of course with 2 out that's not needed. Pomeranz delivers, and it's a full swing foul. Someday I'm going to ask one of the pitchers like Capuano, like Kershaw, they bunt so well for a sacrifice, why they don't ever try to get a bunt down for a base hit. As Clayton talking to Aaron Harang. 0-1 the count to Capuano. I mean, you would think once in a blue moon they try, and they never do. Capuano, big swing and a miss. 0-2 the count. Waiting on deck, the leadoff man, Shane Victorino. 1 run, 2 hits for the Rockies. No runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. Pomeranz out of a stretch. Ellis hardly any lead at all. And the next pitch is high. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That was another 93-mile-an-hour fastball. Pomeranz shaking no to his catcher, Ramon Hernandez. Now he's ready. And the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball swung on and missed, and that's that. 4 strikeouts for Drew Pomeranz. And at the end of 2, 1-0 Rockies. By the new wireless receiver from AT&T UVerse. Visit AT&T.com/free your TV. Rethink possible. by El Pollo Loco, crazy you can taste, and by the full line of fuel-efficient vehicles at your Southern California Toyota dealer. Third inning, 1-0 in favor of the Rockies. A beautiful evening. It was 78 degrees at the start of the game. Still on the warm side, but it's certainly tolerable. Tomorrow night, Alex White, right-hander, going up against Aaron Harang. Wednesday night, left-hander Jeff Francis against Chad Billingsley. Drew Pomerantz has a couple of base hits. He has 3 hits, including 2 doubles. He also has 3 runs batted in. Pomerantz has a home run. 6'5", checking in, and Capuano ready to work to him. And the first pitch on the outside corner for a strike, 0-1. Now the strike one pitch on the way. Pomerantz waves at it, 0-2. So Chris Capuano down 1-0. He's retired the last 5 in a row. He has struck out 2. And the strike 2 pitch waved at and missed. So Pomerantz looking every inch the pitcher and strikes out. You know, it's not too late for Dodger seasons. That's right. You can purchase today. You receive all of this year's new benefits and partial postseason rights. Great locations between the bases still available. To purchase, visit Dodgers.com/season tickets. Remember, the Dodgers have 2 more games on this homestand. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night. Then the club goes out to Miami, Pittsburgh, and Atlanta. And when they come home, 3 head-to-head with the Giants and Miami. The off-speed pitch away to Young. 1 ball and no strikes. We mentioned that his father hit the first Rockies home run when the club first started in the big leagues. That was against Montreal. The 1-0 pitch on the way. Line drive into center field. So Eric Young is 2 for 2 as he bangs one to center. So that's distracting when you have a runner like Eric getting a base hit right off the bat. To repeat, he has stolen 12 out of 14. Now you have Dexter Fowler and Jordan Pacheco. Fowler struck out. He's hitting .289, 12 home runs, 40 runs batted in. You get the feeling that Fowler, it has taken a little while, but he is slowly but surely becoming a solid player out there in center field. Capuano out of a stretch, comes to Fowler, big swing and a miss. Fowler first came to the Rockies 4 years ago. The next year he hit in the 260s. They brought him back 2010. He hit .260. Last year 260 and .289 right now. Strike 1 pitch inside, almost hit him, and a 1 ball 1 strike count. Dexter's all legs. He's 6'4", 185, only 26. As we said, if you want somebody to go from first to third on a base hit, Fowler's your man. Of course, we saw Young do it in the first inning. Capuano comes to the plate, foul back, and the count 1-2. So Dexter Fowler out of Alpharetta, Georgia. His father coached youth baseball, and his mom teaches physical ed at Westside Elementary in Marietta. 1-2 to Dexter. Capuano pays Young a visit at first base. Dexter Fowler, who, as we said, long and lean, he's 6'4". He was offered a scholarship to attend the University of Miami for baseball. He hits with Young going and gets a base hit to right. They fooled Young a little bit. He wasn't sure where the ball was. Hanley Ramirez did that. So Young, who was running, has to stop at second. So first and second, nobody out, and the batter now, Jordan Pacheco. EY running, looks back, then stops. Where's the ball? Did he catch it? Oh, okay, I'll go to second. So first and second with one out. Jordan Pacheco had a base hit to send Young to third in the first inning. With runners in scoring position, he's hitting .373. So a rookie who is doing very, very well. Right-hand batter. Capuano out of the box. Now on the rubber and deals, and the first pitch a little low, ball one. 1-0. One of the things that helped Pacheco, so they tell me, he has learned to wait on the ball. The more he does that, staying inside the ball, as the hitting coaches talk about, the longer you wait, the better decision you can make. He promptly hammers a line drive to center. Young will score easily. There goes Daddy Longlegs into third. Holding at first is Pacheco. So the top of the order is really abusing Capuano, and the Rockies lead 2-0. Eric Young is 2 for 2. Fowler is 1 for 2. And now Pacheco is 2 for 2. So 5 hits in the 6 at-bats by the top 3 hitters in the Colorado lineup. So Pacheco set up 1 run, knocked in the other, and now it'll bring up Carlos Gonzalez. So Eric Young scoring twice. Daddy would be proud. And the ball's well hit. So 1 out, 2-0 Rockies. Fowler down the line from third. Pacheco holding at first. Capuano left foot on the rubber. Gonzalez fly ball deep enough to left to score Young in the first inning. Capuano will look at the runners at the corners, comes to the plate, and the pitch is low. Remember, we mentioned earlier, if you wanted anybody to go from first to third, Dexter Fowler is the guy, and that's just what he did so easily on the hit by Pacheco. 1 ball and no strikes, the count to Gonzalez. Capuano delivers in the dirt, and down to second base easily goes Pacheco. So for Pacheco, who adds more speed, he was 4-0. Pitch was scooped by Ellis, but he had no chance to get him. He hesitated before he took off. It's going to be a wild pitch and not a stolen base. That's why we waited on the scorer. It's one thing if you're going, but he was not going until he spotted that it was in the dirt. Now they will take the bat out of Gonzalez's hands and walk him intentionally. So the bases will be loaded with 1 out. The Rockies leading 2-0. For Jim Tracy, a chance to jump on Capuano, and Ramon Hernandez coming up. Hernandez, the big catcher, you may remember, was no balls, 2 strikes, then hit the ball very hard, but right at Matt Kemp in center field. I think they would settle for that right now to get a man Fowler home at third. So Fowler, Pacheco, and Gonzalez all out on the lines. Capuano trying to pitch himself out of a very tough spot. One of Chris's problems, and he was the one who said it, I'm having trouble pitching out of the stretch. The left-hander delivers outside, ball 1, 1-0. Capuano had retired 6 in a row and now has given up 3 singles, a wild pitch, and the intentional walk. So the 1-0 pitch on the way to Hernandez, that's taken for a strike, and the count 1-1. Capuano, by the way, now has 3 wild pitches, so that's another concern with someone who runs as well as Dexter Fowler at third. Fowler standing near the bag, Pacheco a good lead, Gonzalez a good lead. 1-1 pitch is taken high, ball 2. Hernandez, a bulky kind of a catcher. He's been in 38 games. He is grounded into just 2 double plays. 2-1 the count. The next one to him is swung on and missed, and the count 2-2. By the way, in case you wonder, Ramon Hernandez has 7 career grand slams. The last one he hit it in April this year against the New York Mets. Two balls and 2 strikes the count. Capuano deals, swung on, high chopper up the middle. On the bag is Ellis, throws the first double play. So Ramon Hernandez hits into the double play started by Mark Ellis, and after 3 hits, a wild pitch and a walk, the Rockies get 1 and lead 2-0. Third baseman Jordan Pacheco set up 1 run with a single to left in the first inning, and then drove in a run with a single to center in the third. So the Rockies lead 2-0. Bottom of the third inning. For the Dodgers, it'll be the top of the order. That means Shane Victorino, followed by Mark Ellis, and then Matt Kemp. So Victorino trying to lead the Dodgers back. Shane hitting .257 and takes off the plate, ball 1. Big difference to get Victorino. If you took all of the players who led off for the Dodgers this year, their combined batting average was .221. Victorino came here at about .260. The 1-0 pitch on the way, that's low, ball 2, 2-0. So it would seem like Victorino would be a perfect fit. He's always hit well here. The 2-0 pitch on the way, high, ball 3, 3-0. Of course, if you say that, you say he's always hit well here. That was against Dodger pitching. Right now, Mark Ellis on deck behind him. The 3-0 pitch on the way, and that's inside, ball 4. So after striking out 4 and hitting a batter, Pomerantz has given up 2 hits but no runs. Second time around now for Ellis and then Matt Kemp. Ellis single to center in the first inning, got as far as second base. Dodgers left runners at second and third in the first inning. Mark Ellis, when he was with the Rockies last year, he hit a very solid .274 with 6 home runs. Right-hand batter has a look at a strike, and the count 0-1. Rockies sent Bruce Billings and a player to the A's to get Ellis, and then Ellis came here. So Victorino at first, 0-1 the count. Pomeranz next pitch in for a strike. By the way, remember we talked a couple of days ago when Shane Victorino joined the Dodgers, they gave him number 8. Don Mattingly literally and figuratively gave him the shirt off his back. And for a day or two, Don Mattingly wore number 12, but he has switched. Strike 2 pitch inside, gets away from Hernandez, but not far away. 1-2. Anyway, Don has gone to Double-A. He wears number 88, which would be the highest number for a manager in Dodger team history. If you go all the way back to June of 1940, and that is a long way back, Charlie Dressen was a coach who wore number 7 and gave that to Joe Medwick when Joe arrived from St. Louis. Pitch of the plate is high, and Charlie Dressen then wore 77. Years later, Charlie came to Brooklyn as the manager, went back to wearing number 7. Of course, when you look at the uniform numbers of Japanese league managers, they range from 70 to 99. Ground foul outside of third and a broken bat, though Ellis will have to get another. Numbers can be very important to the players. Sometimes they wear a number from Little League right on the way up. Sometimes a newcomer asking for his old number from the other club, and somebody else will say, okay, you're going to have my number. He'll reward him with an expensive watch. So the numbers game. With me, when I look at 14, I think of 2 players, Mike Scioscia and the great Gil Hodges in Brooklyn. 2-2 pitch is low, ball 3. I don't think I can ever look at number 44 without thinking of Henry Aaron, not Aaron Harang. 27, worn by Matt Kemp. Trying to think if that was Cookie Lavagetto's number. 3-2 the count. We'll see about Victorino. He is going, and the pitch is very high, ball 4. So Matt Kemp is coming up with first and second, nobody out. He came up in the first inning. First and second, nobody out, and struck out. So there was Drew Pomeranz sailing along nicely for the first 2 innings, and now the second time around he has walked back-to-back hitters. Matt Kemp with an 8-game hitting streak, and when you look at his number of at-bats, because he's been out with that bad leg, out for over 50 games, he's averaging a home run, 13 at-bats. Willen Rosario, the rookie with the Rockies, will probably play tomorrow. And imagine, he has an average of 12.8 for a home run, and he's a spectator right now. 2-0 in favor of the Rockies, but Dodgers have the tying runs aboard. All right, Matt Kemp checks in. Out of a stretch goes Pomeranz, and the first pitch is high. For the record, Boyd Robertson looked it up. Number 27 was worn by Cookie Lavagetto for the Dodgers, Brooklyn, 1951-53. Cookie Lavagetto was a pinch hitter who broke up a no-hitter in the World Series and beat Bill Bevins and the Yankees a long time ago. Here's the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's taken high. In Brooklyn, there was a fan, Eddie Patan, who would blow up a balloon. They're going to have a meeting with Pomeranz, who is blowing up himself. The fan would blow up the balloon as big as he could. Then he would squeeze the neck of the balloon. Bo McLaughlin, the pitching coach, going to the mound. And then he would let the air out. You would hear this high, piercing screech. And when all the air came out of the balloon, then he would holler, "Cookie!" And Ebbets Field being so small, you were so aware of all the fans. And Cookie knew full well the tribute being paid to him. By the way, Cookie's first name was Harry. Anyway, nothing going on, so we're talking numbers. McLaughlin now slowly making his way back to the dugout. 2 balls and no strikes, and Matt Kemp is waiting. 16 home runs, 41 runs batted in. Shane Victorino at second base, Mark Ellis at first, and Matt at the plate, 2-0. Dodgers know one swing of the bat and they can retain the lead. So does Pomeranz. Drew ready, long look at second, and the pitch swung on and foul back. Of course, one reason they're watching Victorino, when you have a hitter like Kemp at the plate, the third baseman Jordan Pacheco is very deep. So the door is open, and Victorino, with his experience, could very well try to steal his 26th. 2-1 the count. Now the 2-1 pitch, swung on, ground ball to short, the shovel for one, the throw to first in time, and just like that they get the double play. So Victorino is now at third. Jonathan Herrera started the double play, and 2 down.
Number 13,
Hanley Ramirez coming up. 6-4-3 to erase Ellis, advance Victorino. Matt Kemp, with his speed, has now grounded into 7 double plays. James Loney is grounded into 15. Hanley Ramirez has grounded into 13. So Pomeranz almost out of the woods, and the pitch to Ramirez swung on and missed. 0-1. Hanley grounded to third in the first inning, hitting .245. 15 home runs, 59 runs batted in. Pomeranz out of his stretch. Victorino walking down the line. Strike one pitch, and that's in there at the knees. Another fastball at 93. Hanley doesn't say anything. He backs out, just kind of looks at Laz Diaz. Doesn't say a word. Now Hanley back up. No balls, 2 strikes. Victorino a quiet lead at third, and the next pitch fouled away off to the right. 0-2. Pomeranz throws so very easily. There's really, it doesn't appear to be any effort. You'll see a pitcher like, let's say, Joe Blanton, who just came to the Dodgers, and Joe is kind of a maximum effort pitcher, head jerking back. But Pomeranz at 6'5" just kind of slowly lets the ball release. 0-2. Drew ready, here he comes, swung on and missed. Ramirez going after a pitch up around the shoulders. So Pomeranz has struck out 5. Dodgers lead Victorino, and the Rockies lead 2-0. Go to the fourth inning. By the way, in talking about all those numbers we neglected, when we were talking about Mattingly's 88, and then we talked about Charlie Dressen, 7 and 77, that was given to us by the wonderful Dodger historian, Mark Lanzo. I didn't want you to think that I knew it, or no way. That old line about the only thing I keep in my head for an hour is a cold. Well, pretty much so. Meanwhile, Capuano's trying to keep the ball game in sight. Gave up a run in the first, a run in the third. He was bailed out when Hernandez hit into a double play to end the third inning. So now it's Matt McBride leading off. First baseman hitting .429. Flinches on a strike. 0-1. 2 runs, 5 hits for the Rockies. No runs, 2 hits for the Dodgers. McBride's contract was selected by the Rockies just before the game against the Giants 2 days ago. And in that game, he went 2 for 4. He lifts a fly ball that's playable. Victorino. So Matt McBride, a fly ball to left, 1 away. And the batter will be Chris Nelson. I really do miss 2 players on the Rockies team. I mean, I've watched them with such great admiration over the years. And I feel sad that I can't see either one of them play right now. One is Troy Tulowitzki, and you can bet Jim Tracy joins me in missing him. Troy's been out since late May with a bad groin, pull groin. He is traveling with the ball club, and they say that might be ready to play in a couple of weeks. It makes you think around maybe the 1st of September. So I'm sure sorry that we can't see him play. And after looking at him all these years, I sure miss seeing Todd Helton. And we can only wish Todd our very best, our prayers. He's going to have hip surgery on Friday. Of course, I've been looking at both of them for a while, but Helton I've been looking at since 1997. I mean, that's a long time. What a wonderful player and a fine guy, both of them. That's ball 1, 1-2. That's not to take anything away from their young replacements, Jonathan Herrera and Matt McBride. Chris Nelson flied to right field in the 2nd inning. Run down by Jerry Sands in foul ground. 2-2 to Chris. Capuano had to work out of the stretch a lot in the 1st inning and the same in the 3rd. Had an easy 2nd. 2-2. Ground ball to 3rd. On it there is Luis Cruz. 2 down. Capuano has now made 56 pitches. And of course, once he gets somebody and he doesn't have to pitch out of a stretch, these are his words, he's a lot better for it. Here's Herrera, struck out in the 2nd inning. Shoots a fastball low, ball 1. Rockies had 2 singles and a sacrifice fly by Carlos Gonzalez, and they had 3 consecutive singles for a run in the 3rd inning. Ground ball, base hit. So Herrera, a single left with 2 out. Pomeranz coming up. So there is 2 things to think about. Yes, Capuano is going to have to pitch out of a stretch, but you don't figure he's going to have to worry much about Herrera trying to steal, not with 2 out and the pitcher coming up. Glenn Allen Hill talking to him. Pomeranz might have a home run this year, but he had 3 bad swings in the 3rd inning. Oh, and 1. That was a better swing. That took a little bit. out of A.J. Ellis. So Diaz goes to the mound, walks the ball out to Capuano just to give A.J. a chance to get over that knock. The players do it for the umpire, and the umpire always does it for the player. Laz slowly coming back. I was just going to say he'll clean off home plate just with his feet, making sure taps A.J. on the head. Okay, son, I've given you a chance. 0-1. 2 out, 4th inning, 2-0 Colorado. Jonathan Herrera, who has missed so many games, this is only his 50th game. He is 2 for 2 in stolen bases. Little dribbler up along third, fair ball, and throwing his Cruz, pulling his first baseman Rivera off the bag. So Pomerantz, a slow roller, and legs it out. We'll see if it's a base hit.
Right fielder, Eric Young.
2 on with 2 out, and Eric Young will be coming up. Cruz high throw, it will go as a base hit. Rivera trying, but couldn't keep that right foot on. So 2 on, 2 out, and here's Eric Young. Young has single to left, single to center, scored a run in the first inning, scored a run in the third. Eric hitting .279. Time. Laz again seemed to point to Eric Young. That must be something when Colorado plays Arizona. His father is coaching at first base for the D-backs. 0-1. That off-speed pitch came up there at 75. Eric tried to wait on it, as they say, and couldn't quite do it. Waited too long. No balls, 1 strike. Missed with the fastball, tried to get it in at the knees. 1 ball and 1 strike. All of a sudden, Chris's pitch count is up to 62. Two to nothing Rockies, looking for more in the 4th inning. And popped up. Handled by Hanley. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left, and at the end of 3.5 innings, it's 2-0 Rockies. fourth inning. Time to get you thinking a little bit. Todd Helton, whom we miss, has 45 career home runs against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Well, maybe the pitchers don't miss him. Which four other players have 45 or more? Well, we'll give you the answer in a little while. Meanwhile, Drew Pomeranz had to run down the line in the fourth inning. We'll see what that does to him. One thing, he has been in trouble, at least one man on in every inning, but the Dodgers so far have watched him get off the hook. The Dodgers are 0 for 5 with runners in scoring position against him, with one double play turned and 3 strikeouts. So we'll see how he goes against Rivera, Sands, and Cruz. Doors wide open. Giants lost in St. Louis 8-2. Rivera hitting .251, 5 home runs, 35 runs batted in, and ball 1. Pomeranz, who has struck out 5, lost his control in the third inning, walked Victorino and Ellis back to back, and then got Kemp to hit into a double play. In fact, Pomeranz has really looked the game in the eye. With 2 on and nobody out, he struck out Kemp. With 2 on and nobody out, he got Matt to hit into a double play. 2-0. And a high strike. Rivera unhappy about it. 2-1. Two and two. Dodgers swept the Rockies in a 3-game series here. That was in the middle of May. In fact, for the last 3 years, the Dodgers have pretty much had their way with the Rockies here. Dodgers have won 21 of 30. Ball 3. 7 of their 21 wins, Dodgers won by 1 run. 3-2 the count. Line drive just by the glove of Pacheco and down the line. By the time it's picked up by Gonzalez, Rivera goes for 2, and they got him. Juan Rivera, a line drive single by Pacheco's glove, only to have Gonzalez nail him, trying to go to second. That close to be caught.
Right fielder, number 30, Jerry Sands.
And of course, Rivera, who does not run well, and a strong throw, and the ball is waiting for his arrival. Got him on the foot. There you go. So Rivera, a single and shot down. Fine play by Carlos Gonzalez. Jerry Sands, ball 1. No runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Sands flied to left field in the second inning, way out in front. 1-1 the count. Fastball for a strike. 1-2. One of the oldest expressions, and a true expression, is just a pure statement that you hear from the young players. In the minor leagues, you're going to see a very good pitcher maybe once a week. And in the big leagues, you're going to see a very good pitcher every day. Some are better than others, but to get here, they're all very good. 2-2 the count to Jerry Sands. And he's a believer. It is different. Albuquerque is a long, long way from the big leagues. 2 out. You know, Tuesday, August 21st, with the Giants, Fernando Valenzuela bobblehead night. Fans with the first 50,000 tickets can take home their very own mini El Toro. Compliments of State Farm. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. There's our man, El Hombre. Did that hit him on the foot? Obviously. The Cruz hit on the foot, hobbling. Dodgers going to check, make sure he's okay. When you're hit by a pitch, it's hard to believe the ball weighs only 5 to 5 1/4 ounces.
Catcher, number 17, A.J. Ellis.
The Cruz hit by the pitch, and A.J. Ellis coming up. Rockies lead the Dodgers 2-0 in the fourth with a run in the first and a run in the third. So Pomerantz has hit 2, and with 2 out, here's Ellis. It's really one fastball after another, and it's anywhere from 91 to 94 with a rare breaking ball, that spike curve. One ball and one strike. That was one of his spike curves. As Drew says, instead of twisting the ball, he spikes it with the point of a finger. He just pushes it off the seam, and it moves all over the place. 2-1. Sometimes it acts almost like a screwball, he says. Sometimes if I'm cutting it, it's like a slider. He learned it from his dad. He has an older brother. Typical, the older brother was being taught. The kid wanted to learn it as well. And the kid winds up in the big leagues. The older brother at one time was in the Dodger organization. His name is Stewart. Originally signed by the Cardinals. Stewart then moved and right now is in the Baltimore organization. With 2 out, he hit Cruz. Now he's 3-1 to Ellis. And that's ball 4. So the Dodgers left 2 in the first inning. They left 1 man in the second inning. They left 1 man in the third. And now they have 2 men. And for Pomerantz, he's now made 77 pitches. Might just be accident, but it all started because he legged out that infield single up along third. Then went out to the mound and immediately gave up a single to Rivera. But he was lucky because Gonzalez named Rivera, and then he struck out Sand. Adam Ottavino begins to warm up, the right-hander, down in the Rockies bullpen. Pomerantz might just be running out of gas here, even though it's only the 4th inning. Capuano, a strike. 0-1. One and one. In looking at Pomerantz's work, his best game this year was against the Dodgers, and he went 6 2/3. That was his longest effort as well. He allowed 1 run, left with a 2-run lead. Penn let it get away. 1-2 to Capuano, who struck out in the second inning. With Cruz at second, Dodgers now are in danger of going 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. Foul back. That went right into the mask of Hernandez, so Laz Diaz will give him a chance to take a break. Diaz takes a look. Ramon looks over at the bench and says, yeah, I'm all right. I've been only hit 5,000 times. One and two to Capuano. Threw that knuckle curveball and missed with it. 2-2. On deck, Victorino. Big pitch here, 2-2. Foul back. That was 91. So the Dodgers, with Cruz having been hit by a pitch, Ellis drawing a walk, they have 2 on, 2 out. It's 2-0 Rockies, 4th inning. Capuano making Pomeranz pitch. Up to a point. Breaking ball, and the out recorded at first, and that's that. So Pomeranz survives it. He now has 7 strikeouts, and at the end of 4, 2-0 Rockies.
By your Southern California Nissan dealers, September 9th, 1965.
Sandy Koufax, perfect game.
It is 9:46 p.m. 2-2 to Harvey Keene. 1 strike away. Sandy into his windup. Here's the pitch. Swung on and missed. A perfect game.
Yep, number 32. Don't forget there'll be a Sandy Koufax bobblehead night at Dodger Stadium. Don't see nearly enough of Sandy, so we look forward to any opportunity. I've always considered myself extremely fortunate. I was the only one outside of, I guess, Al Campanis and an older scout named Arthur Deedy. I believe I was the only person there when a young left-hander by the name of Andy Sofka, he went down to the bullpen, and Sandy, for the first time, tried out. And being the great scout that I am, I thought, yeah, well, he's all right. Yeah, he throws pretty hard. Bounced a few curveballs. Yeah, well, maybe he'll make it in 5 or 6 years. Yeah. Dexter Fowler, Jordan Pacheco, and Carlos Gonzalez. Fowler's 1 for 2, Pacheco's 2 for 2. Gonzalez has not been up officially with a sacrifice fly and an intentional walk. Ball 1. Pomeranz, with a 24-pitch inning, has now made 84. Capuano has made in the middle 60s. Pomeranz cooling off. 1 ball and 1 strike. Little roller. Ellis was playing deep, but he'll get him on a close play. Fowler flying down the line. One away, and the batter will be Jordan Pacheco. His single to left, single to center. Set up the run in the first inning with his base hit, and knocked in the run with his base hit in the third. Jordan Pacheco. We told you he is very much of a contact hitter, and he is more than that tonight. He's 2 for 2. And a strike. 0-1. Pacheco, 26 years old. Takes a strike. 0-2. Chris Capuano has now made 68 pitches, and we're in the 5th inning. 0-2. Fastball got him. So Pacheco caught looking. Down he goes. 2 out here in the 5th inning. And the batter will be Carlos Gonzalez. The Rockies had a different look to them when you had Carlos Gonzalez, Troy Tulowitzki, and Todd Helton, I should say. Cargo, as they call him, hitting .327, 20 home runs, 74 runs batted in. And a strike. 0-1. Chris Capuano came into the game with an earned run average at Dodger Stadium 2, and that's what he's allowed tonight, 2. 0-2. One ball and 2 strikes. When the Dodgers come up, Victorino, Ellis, and Kemp in the 5th inning. One and 2. Fouled off. Carlos Gonzalez, who signed a 7-year deal, including last year, one of 3 National League players to have at least 70 home runs, 60 stolen bases over the last 3 years. I mean, that puts him with Ryan Braun and Matt Kemp. However, what's amazing is the fact that Gonzalez has played in more than 100 fewer games ever, that span, than Braun and Kemp. He's up there with him. You just imagine where he would be had he played that extra 100 games. Gonzalez is only 26. He'll be 27 in the middle of October. He was signed originally by the Diamondbacks. He went from their organization to the Oakland A's, then to the Rockies. The big question has always been, how could either of those teams let him get away? Little dribbler. That'll do it. So it's a 1-2-3 inning. Capuano had it in the 2nd, and now he gets it in the 5th, and it's still 2-0 Rockies. Only one of them will still be in the game, and that's Chris Capuano. Drew Pomeranz went his 4 innings, looked tired, especially after he ran down to first base to leg out the base hit in the 4th inning. One reason, he did not have an easy inning. Every inning, Pomeranz was pitching out of a stretch, wound up making 82 pitches and goes out. And a young fella by the name of Adam Ottavino coming up. 26 years old, born and still lives in Brooklyn. Was a first-round pick by the Cardinals. Went to school at Northeastern University. Basically fastball, slider, curve, and change. So Pomeranz does not go the required 5. And out he goes. Shane Victorino singled and walked. Though he'll turn around and bat left-handed. One ball and no strikes. Pomeranz in his 4 innings allowed 3 hits. Struck out 7. Tough play at second base, and what a play by Chris Nelson. Wow, what a great across the body throw on the dead run. Wonderful play. Watch this. Backhand, whip it, and right on the money. It is hard to get that much on the throw when you are running away from it. That is really a good play, especially when you know the batter can fly. So a big play by Chris Nelson, a disappointed Victorino, and we have 1 out. Mark Ellis singled and walked against Pomeranz. Mark hitting .259, 4 home runs, 16 runs batted in. You can put your finger right on the Dodger problem so far. They are 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position. I mean, they've gotten the men on. Can't do anything with it. They left 4 men in the first 3 innings. Dodgers have left 6 men in the first 4. 2 and 1 to count to Mark Ellis. In there. 2 and 2. Ottavino, like all the pitchers, had to spend some time on the DL. Sore shoulder. Then he had therapy, a tear in the labrum of his right shoulder. Adam is 6'5" and 225. 2 and 2. And down goes Ellis. Pretty good sink on that pitch. 2 out in the 5th, and Matt Kemp coming up. It's there, and then it's there. Up here, you could just see the bottom dropped out of that ball. So a little late action. He has 2 out, and here's Matt Kemp. Kemp hitting .347. Starts him fastball strike inside corner. 0 and 1. Ottavino in his last 9 appearances has been downright terrific. Fastball, but he overthrew, clocked at 97. He has held hitters to a 182 batting average over the last 16 innings. One and 1. Fastball missed. Earned his first career victory with a scoreless 2 innings against the Dodgers back on June 1. That was in Colorado. That was a good slider. 2-2 the count. He has what they call a tight curve, and I think that was the pitch he used to strike out Ellis. Now the slider to Kemp. 2-0 Colorado. That's his slider again. 3-2 the count. Waiting on deck, hitting back at Kemp. Hanley Ramirez. He's 0 for 2. 3-2 to Matt. And popped up. Right side, Nelson. McBride, it'll be Nelson. So the Dodgers tiptoe through the 5th inning. And at the end of 5, it's still 2-0 Colorado. People, because on this date in 1961, someone from whom you would never expect a home run hit one. It was the mouse that roared, Maury Wills. This is the anniversary. It's 51 years ago Maury hit his first major league home run. Everybody knows and remembers all the stolen bases. Maury, as a switch hitter, once hit 2 home runs in the Polo Grounds of New York, one left-handed and one right-handed. And to answer the jackpot question, how many home runs Maury hit in 14 years? The answer was 20. And with that, let's go back to this one. Rockies stubbornly holding on to a 2-0 lead. They came up here in the 6th with Ramon Hernandez, the big catcher, who lined out to center and then came up in the 3rd inning with 1 out and the bases loaded and grounded into a double play. 2 runs, 7 hits for the Rockies, no runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. Two and 0. Capuano coming into the inning had made 75 pitches. Behind 3-0, Hernandez, then McBride, and then Nelson. In there. Capuano walked Gonzalez intentionally in the 3rd inning. The only walk that he's given up. Hard ground ball base hit into left field. Remember the trivia question? We were talking about one of our favorite players, Todd Helton. He has 45 career home runs against the Los Angeles Dodgers, which 4 other players have 45 or more. The roll call, the great Henry, and then Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, and Willie McCovey. So 3 former Giants and Henry. So Hernandez at first. Here's Matt McBride. Flied to right, flied to left, 0 for 2. Ground ball to short. Ramirez to Ellis. Just in time at first to get the double play. So McBride hits into the twin killing, and the batter will be Chris Nelson. One thing for Ellis, if you could look at that play again, there was no problem for Mark to turn the double play. Hernandez was barely in the neighborhood. And not only was he only in the neighborhood, he got out of the way. Watch. Here's the flip from Ramirez. Here's Mark. Where's the man to break up the double play? Where is he? Oh, okay, over there. Popped in the air, down the line, slicing as she goes foul, and out of play. Of course, let's face it, for Ramon Hernandez, who's been catching a lot, who is also a very big man, you don't expect him really do any daring running. And Mark Ellis, of course, who's been upended by Tyler Green, says, thank you very much. Ball 1. Nelson fouled to right, grounded to third. 0 for 2. Two and 1. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 6th, they'll have Ramirez, Rivera, and Sands. Capuano now has made 84 pitches. That was the exit number for Pomeranz. Two balls and 2 strikes. Rocky scored in the first and in the third, and that's been it. So that'll do it for the Rockies and for Nelson. No runs a hit, nobody left. At the end of 5.5 innings, 2-0 Colorado. Two runs. Dodgers have been thoroughly frustrated, 0 for 6 with men in scoring position. Now it'll be Hanley Ramirez, who bunts in the air foul and drops untouched. 0-1. Hanley batting .244, grounded to third and struck out. Adam Ottavino, young right-hander out of the Cardinal organization. 0-2. Rockies got Ottavino off waivers. Pitching coaches talk about he's got to get his changeup a little more effective. But he's certainly done pretty well. Fastball and slider up to here. Fastball. Still 0-2. Doesn't figure to throw many changeups unless against a left-hander. No balls and 2 strikes. Fastball on the corner. Hanley can't believe it, gesturing that the ball was outside. Lag Diaz is okay. Ramirez can keep arguing until you see the plate umpire take his mask off. Well, it looked like it ran off, but not to Laz. And Ramirez stays in one piece and walks away with a small sigh. 2 strikeouts for Ottavino, and it also means 9 Dodgers have struck out so far tonight. Here's Rivera. He struck out. Thought he had an extra base hit. Tried for 2 on a base hit to left. Carlos Gonzalez nailed him. Now, Rivera's a little annoyed on the call. Well, Laz keeps the mask on. 0-1. That's in there. 0-2. One and 2. And there's some noise coming out of the Dodger dugout. The mask is still on. If the mask comes off, that's the signal to everybody to batten down the hatches. Matt Kemp struck out, hit into a double play, popped up. Fastball hit to third. There's Pacheco. So Ottavino has come in to retire 5 in a row. And the batter is Jerry Sands, young right fielder, called up to play today and give Andre Ethier a rest. That was because Pomerantz, the left-hander, started. Jerry flied to left and struck out. 0 for 2. Sands has a nice hobby, I guess you'd call it a hobby. Before each spring training the last 3 years, he worked as a substitute teacher in North Carolina. Two and 0. Two balls and no strikes. Ottavino throwing 95. 2 balls and 1 strike. Ground ball to short. Herrera. So the Dodgers out. That's 7 in a row out, 6 in a row turned in by Ottavino. And at the end of 6, it's still 2-0 Colorado. Well, there it is for the Dodgers. I mean, it's wide open. Giants lost. Dodgers have a golden opportunity, but they have to win. They are in a flat-footed tie, as they say. Arizona lost to the Pirates. 8-2, the Cardinals beat the Giants' top pitcher, and that's Matt Cain. So we shall see as we go to the 7th inning. Jonathan Herrera. Then we'll see about the pitcher spot, Ottavino, and then Eric Young. Herrera struck out, single to left, 1 for 2. Ramirez up with it. And 1 pitch, 1 away in the 7th. So 1 down. You know, Wednesday is the first ever Clippers night at Dodger Stadium. Purchase the ticket pack, receive a ticket to the Coca-Cola All-You-Can-Eat Pavilion and a Dodgers Clippers themed LA cap. Tickets are limited, only available at Dodgers.com/Clippers. 1 pitch, 1 away here in the 7th. And here's Ottavino. Strike. Ottavino doing a very nice job in relief with the bat. He's 1 for 2. 0-2. Adam Ottavino takes another look, pays the price. 6 strikeouts for Chris Capuano. Here's how the Rockies scored in the 1st inning. Eric Young singled, Jordan Pacheco singled into 3rd, and the fly ball by Gonzalez picked them up for a run. In the 3rd inning, 3 straight singles. Single by Eric Young, single by Dexter Fowler, and Pacheco single scored Young a 2nd time. And that's it. 2-0 Rockies. EY 2 for 3. Slow curveball and kicked by Capuano, who bounces his throw. That's too late. So EY is aboard, and you would think if there's the slightest opening, he would try to steal now. And Dexter Fowler coming up. It'll be an infield single. So we'll watch Young now to see if he tries to raise a little havoc. He has stolen 12 out of 14. Hard ground ball, but staying with it is Cruz. That'll be that. So no runs, an infield single and a man left. They're heading to the bottom of the 7th, 2-0 Rockies. For 3, 0 for 3, 0 for 0, 0 for 2, 0-0. And the Dodgers now in the bottom of the 7th have the weight of knowledge on their shoulders. They know that Arizona lost. They know that the Giants lost. They know they're in a golden position, but so far, uh-oh. And here's Luis Cruz. Hopper to short. Herrera is on it. One pitch, one away. The batter will be A.J. Ellis. Capuano was due up, but Sean Tollison is down in the Dodger bullpen. Now you can see Ronald Belisario has gotten up to join him. A.J. Ellis has not been up officially because he's been hit by a pitch and walked. Waiting on deck, James Loney, all bundled up because of the chill of the night, is Chris Capuano. No balls, 1 strike. Coming off a hot series against the Cubs. In there. Well, he's a 2-strike hitter because for a lot of reasons he has 2 strikes. Seems like every time you look up with AJ, and it's remarkable to realize hitting .287, 10 home runs. Slider away, 1-2. Ottavino picking up for Drew Pomeranz has retired 7 in a row. Slider. Oh, that banged off that railing. He throws hard. That slider was 89. His fastball has been up to 95. He is 6'5", 220, and only 26 years old. Fastball, but he had them all set up after the sliders, and he missed. 2-2. Fastball is 94. James Loney waiting on deck. Punched, and it's fair or foul. It's a fair ball, and I think it was touched by a fan. Went right down the line. All we had to do is watch Mike Estabrook indicate fair. A lot of trouble for Matt McBride. It'll be an error charge to McBride. Mattingly, I think, wants to find out. Let's take another look. He wants to talk to Laz Diaz. There's the ball going off the glove. Now watch. Now, did the fan touch it? The fan's acting like he missed it. He'll miss the rest of the game, too. So Laz is just calling everybody to order. Dodgers with a runner at first, and James Loney coming up. Error charge to Matt McBride. Loney hitting for Capuano, hitting .257, 2 home runs, 29 runs batted in. Loney hitting .302 since the All-Star break. 1 ball and no strikes. So Capuano gives up 2 runs, escapes a lot of trouble, 9 hits, and he gives way to Loney. Ellis at first, held on by McBride. And pop foul. That should go out of play. 1-1. So Ellis is aboard. First Dodger base runner since the 4th inning. And we have 1 out in the 7th. The other 2 base runners were hit batters and walk. And before that was when Rivera singled, tried to stretch, and was caught. Waiting on deck, Shane Victorino. 1-1. Line drive, foul ball. 1-2. Loney with a .257 average, but he is a much tougher hitter, a much better hitter for one reason or another at home. He's hitting .288 this year here at Dodger Stadium. Andre Ethier alongside of Clayton Kershaw. Andre had the night off, especially because a left-hander was pitching, but he can also be very available for late inning pinch hitting. Fly ball to left field. Coming up for it is Gonzalez. So Loney a fly ball. The inning should be over except for the error by McBride. And the batter will be Victorino. Loney, going back to the dugout, is now 3 for 15 as a pinch hitter. So that would be a 200 batting average, and understandably a very tough spot, but he's a far better hitter, obviously, when he starts. So here's Victorino, single to center, walk, grounded out. Twice he has gotten to third and stayed there. Ball one. Shane batting .256. One ball, no strikes. And ball two. Capuano made 92 pitches. Allowed 2 runs and 9 hits. Struck out 6. 2-0. And 3-0, and waiting on deck, Mark Ellis. So what is it? From little acorns, large oak trees grow. So an error at first by McBride gives us a runner with 2 out, and here's Victorino, 3-0. 3-1. Now Shane checking with Tim Wallace. Watch Ellis on a 3-1 count, not going. 3-2. So he wasn't going 3-1. He's certainly going to be going 3-2. So they take McBride off the bag, put the first baseman behind the runner, and of course let the pitcher know. 3-2 to Shane Victorino. AJ ready and goes. Ground foul. 2 runs, 9 hits, 1 error for the Rockies, no runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. The Rockies will have Pacheco, Gonzalez, and Hernandez in the 8th inning. Pacheco is 2 for 3, Gonzalez 0 for 1, Hernandez 1 for 3. All right, 3-2. There goes Ellis. There goes the ball into center field. And a great try. Catch. Yes, catch. The second base umpire could not go out because Ellis was running. And it was the first base right field line ran down to make the catch. We had to wait because there was no sign. But you see, he did catch it. No trap. So it was a good call by Mike Estabrook. Don Mattingly is going to argue. Now Estabrook is going to go over and talk to the other umpires. We couldn't call it, so I just looked at Estabrook, and he finally called it. Victorino is out on a fly ball, but the umpires are going to huddle. That's a good thing, no matter what. You want to make sure you get it right. So Lopes, Victorino wait. The 4 umpires huddle. The man who calls it always looks to say, did you see it differently? It certainly wouldn't be the plate umpire. It might be the third base umpire who might see like the first base umpire, because the second base umpire was up inside the bag because he had A.J. Ellis running to the bag. So Mattingly thought it was a trap. We'll see. So Mike Everett's the crew chief. He's on the left. Jim Tracy sweating it out. Estabrook will call it, nodding yes on the right. I'd be surprised if they didn't call it an out. Okay. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. The meeting looks like they're going to call it a trap. And Jim Tracy, he caught the ball, Jim said. He caught the ball. He caught the blinking ball. He caught the darn ball. Oh, you're gone. He is gone. That is blinking fertilizer. I'm doing the best to translate. You gotta be blinking me. The ball, he caught the ball. Unbelievable. Blinking, unbelievable. No way. No blinking way. No bloody way. Jim's gone, so he's spending house money now. Take another look. Looks like it's in the glove. What's a shame, really. We have this equipment and no one takes avail of it. I mean, they say it would slow up the game. What did that do? I mean, they could have had someone upstairs or an umpire go and look at the tape. Instead, big argument. The manager's kicked out of the game. The umpires have to reverse. I'm not second-guessing the reversal. They're doing the best they think. But I'm just saying, here we are with all that equipment to show it. Want to show it again, Brad, Dustin? Take another look. How do you call it? There's the glove. Here's the ball. It's in the glove, isn't it? Didn't it hit the webbing? Another look. Did it hit the ground and go into the glove? And remember, imagine real speed. Here are the umpires. Now you can imagine. Watch this. They have to call it now. Now you tell me. Never mind videotape. Never mind all the high-priced equipment. Super slow. It hits the glove first, I believe. What do you think? Well, you know what? It doesn't make any difference what we think. What's most important, that Mike Estabrook, the first base umpire, called the play, then decided to talk to Paul Schreiber and especially to the crew chief, Mike Everett. And after the huddle, they reversed the call. So Tommy Runnels is now in charge. He's annoyed as they try to explain to him. So Victorino will be given a base hit to center. So he now is 2 for 3. Ellis is at second base. Jim Tracy has been kicked out. Dexter Fowler, who was involved in the catch, really never did get involved. I don't mean to say that that means he didn't catch it, but most of the time on a borderline play, it seems to me that the player involved would come screaming into the umpire saying, I caught it. But maybe not. So now with Ellis going 3-2, he winds up at third. And here is Mark Ellis. For the Dodgers, it is the third time they've had a runner at third. They're still down 2-0. And a slider, but it was up. Ball one. Ellis singled to center, walked in the third, struck out in the fifth. Fastball lifted to center and deep. Going back is Gonzalez, moving over to left center to put it away. So Ellis, a long out to left center. No runs, a disputed hit, an error, 2 left. And at the end of 7, it's still 2-0 Rockies. Nine hits, but he also had a half a dozen strikeouts. And he started with Fowler and Herrera, then Big Pomeranz. Then he moved along to get Pacheco. He got Nelson, and he finished up his work nailing Pomeranz the last time. So for Chris, 7 innings, allowing only 2 runs. Remember, his earned run average at Dodger Stadium this year is 2. So he pitched right to his average, walked only 1. That walk was intentional. Struck out a half a dozen, made 92. So that is a great night's work for a starting pitcher, except the Dodgers have stopped dead in the water against Messrs. Pomeranz and Ottavino. So Sean Tolleson will come in and pitch to Pacheco, Gonzalez, and Hernandez. James Loney now at first, having pinch hit and stayed in the game. Rivera, who was at first base, has moved into right field, so Jerry Sands comes out. Pacheco single to left to set up a run. Single to center to drive in a run, and then last time up struck out. Hitting .310 with a home run and 26 runs batted in. Two and one. Foul back. 2-2. Pacheco, we mentioned earlier, a very good contact hitter, and he singled each of his first 2 at bats, but then in the 5th inning, Capuano finally struck him out. From Albuquerque. 2-2. Lifted down the line. Loney, foul ground, backhands it. One away. Carlos Gonzalez, the left fielder, had a scoring fly ball, sacrifice fly in the first inning, was walked intentionally in the third to load the bases, and the catcher Ramon Hernandez grounded into the inning-ending double play. Then last time up in the fifth inning, Carlos hit back to the box. So he's 0 for 1, hitting .327, 20 home runs, 74 runs batted in. 0-1. Gonzalez every now and then will kind of wind up with his swing. He wound up that time. Always a threat to hit one. He hit 26 last year, 34 the year before. 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. He's been averaging an RBI every 5.5 at bats. Home runs off right-hand pitchers, 14 of the 20. 1-1. Little ground ball to Loney. He'll do it himself. Down in the Colorado bullpen, Matt Belisle, the right-hander, Rex Brothers, the left-hander. 2 outs involving Loney and Ramon Hernandez, the batter. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 8th inning, they'll have Matt Kemp, Hanley Ramirez, and Juan Rivera. If anybody gets on, then it would be Tollison, who is in Sand's spot in the lineup. Oh and 1. Hernandez had the wrong at bat in the first inning. He hit a bullet to center fielder Matt Kemp for an out. In the 6th inning, he led off with a single to left. But in between, in the 3rd inning with the bases loaded, he hit into a big double play. Off the plate, 1-2. Sean Tollison, who has done very well coming out of the bullpen, picking up for Capuano tonight. Down he goes. So it's a 1-2-3 inning for Sean Tollison. And here they come in the 8th. Kemp, Ramirez, and Rivera. 2-0 Rockies. They've led since the 3rd inning by that score. Tomorrow night, Aaron Harang. Dodgers hope he is well rested. They gave him an extra bit. Alex White will be on the mound. White with a high ERA, but of course that really doesn't mean anything when you pitch in Colorado. So Harang and White tomorrow night. Then the concluding game of the series, Jeff Francis and Chad Billingsley. A veteran, Matt Belisle, coming out of the pen with a record of 3-3. Belisle with a good ERA. Wow, 2.9, and you pitch in Denver for a living. Pretty good. In looking at Colorado, you would figure that every member of the pitching staff has been pushed around. Not necessarily so. Matt Kemp, that's right, 0-1. Matt hitting .346, struck out, hit into a double play, popped up. 1-1. Matt Belisle is starting the inning, but during the year, he inherited 27 runners, 7 have scored. Kemp, meanwhile, up there with a count 1-2. Matt Belisle, big Texan. Matt was originally a second-round pick by the Braves. Fastball, little blooper to right field. It's going to fall. So Kemp, who is so strong, most hitters would have hit a little pop fly to the second baseman, but he's able to muscle that thing into right field. So Matt pop fly single to right, and that'll bring up Hanley Ramirez, who grounded to third and struck out twice. Belisle last year won 10 games for the Rockies. That's low, ball 1. Matt Belisle and Hanley Ramirez. Ramirez has hit him a bit, 5 for 13. That's a .385 batting average. That's a strike. 1-1. Matt Kemp had 3 home runs against Belisle in the past, and he just got a bloop single. And then Rivera hitting after Ramirez, hitting .200 against Belisle. 1-1. 1-2. Good fastball at 92. Hanley with the walk-off base hit. Dodgers have had 8 walk-offs this year. The Rockies, by the way, have 5 walk-offs this year. 2-0 Colorado. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 2-2. So Ramirez facing Matt Belisle, second-round pick by the Braves, who have made it to the big leagues with the Reds instead. Went from the Reds to the Rockies. 2-2. Kemp taking his lead. Ball 3. For Belisle, basically fastball, curveball, and a change. He is a power pitcher, and in looking at his numbers, 8 walks, 49 strikeouts. 3-2. Fastball slowly to short. They'll get 1, no chance for 2. So Ramirez goes 0 for 4. He forces Matt Kemp. And the batter will be Juan Rivera. Rivera struck out, single to left, was cut down by Gonzalez's throw when he tried to stretch it, and grounded out. So Juan is 1 for 3, hitting .253. To repeat, in the past, Rivera 1 for 5 against Belial. 2 streaks on the line. And we see Jerry Hairston out on deck. He would hit for Tollison. And a strike, 0-1. Dodgers with a 3-game winning streak. They swept Chicago. Colorado a 3-game losing streak. They were swept by the Giants. And again, we repeat, the Giants lost big to the Cardinals, 8-2. Arizona was shut out by Pittsburgh, 4-0. So it's a golden spot for the Dodgers. So they haven't been able to do anything. They got Victorino at third in the first inning and again in the third inning. And they got A.J. Ellis at third in the seventh, and that's it. And they got Ellis at third, of course, on that disputed play involving Dexter Fowler. 0-2. Ramirez, of course, runs very well. He has stolen 16 out of 21. Rivera has grounded into 11 double plays in the dirt. Down in the Dodger bullpen, you have one man working, and that's Brandon Lee. Kenley Jansen is throwing, but the difference is it depends on what the score is going into the ninth inning, whether it's Lee or Jansen. 1-2 to Rivera. Foul back. Rivera started the game at first base, and he is finishing up in right field. For Rivera, he has played 23 games in left, 31 at first base, 5 in right field. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 1 out in the 8th, 2-0 Rockies. Fastball hit to the left. Herrera gets it on a bounce over, and it's unable to be handled by McBride. So Nelson's throw, not a good one. Meanwhile, Ramirez very slow in getting up. So Hanley, in breaking up the double play, shook himself up a little bit. There's the slide, upending Nelson a little bit, and then he landed and tried to get over Ramirez and just did. So now it will not be Jerry Hairston. It will be Andre Ethier batting for Tollison. So let's look it up. What about Andre Ethier against Matt Belial? Ethier is 2 for 9. That would be a .222 batting average. He has walked twice against him. He has also struck out twice. 2 out, bottom of the 8th, 2-0 Rockies. Andre doesn't come off the bench very often. He is 1 for 1 as a pinch hitter. Ball 1. Ethier hitting .287. He had a big double yesterday. Ethier against right-hand pitching is batting .326. It's the left-handers who wear him out and wear his average down. That's missing. 2-0. The infield really wide open on the left side. Herrera way over to the left, not quite, but almost behind the bag. So it's up to Pacheco to cover a lot of ground. Nelson is on the rim at second base, and McBride holding on first. In there. So a leadoff single by Kemp, and 2 force plays later, here's Ethier. Andre, 11 home runs, 63 runs batted in, outfield deep and straight away. 2-2. Matt Kemp, I'm sure thoroughly frustrated, struck out with 2 on in the first inning, hit into a double play with 2 on in the third, and popped up and then had the bloop single. Two and 2 the count. And ball 3. Belisle is a man with holds. It's Betancourt who closes things. And Belisle has picked up 14 holes so far this year. 3 and 2. And a little flare foul down the left field line. The paid attendance tonight, head over heels, 32,659. 32,659. Sure hope you'll be out here with us tomorrow night if you possibly can. Good baseball played. Tough baseball. Dodgers, of course, with all the pressure, and the Rockies trying to apply a little more. 3 and 2. Rivera ready to go. They're not holding him. And taken for ball 4. So Ethier draws a walk. Dodgers now with the tying runs aboard, and Luis Cruz coming up. So Belisle has given up a single and a walk. Young Cruz struck out, hit by a pitch, grounded to short, hitting .250. Bo McLaughlin going out now to talk to Belisle about how to pitch to Cruz. Luis was not playing against Colorado when last they met. For Luis Cruz to look at some of his numbers in this tough spot. He has 9 doubles and 2 home runs. So he has 11 extra base hits. He's had 14 RBIs in the last 17 games. He was hit by a pitch for the first time this year back in the 4th inning. So there they are. The old expression, the ducks on the pond. First and second, 2 out, 8th inning, 2-0 Colorado. Cruz has done very well with runners in scoring position. Lung hitter takes a strike. He's batting .367 with runners in scoring position. The Dodgers have not been able to do a thing. Last we checked, they were 0 for 6, and they've gone beyond that. Fastball fouled away. So Cruz now in a hole, no balls and 2 strikes. When you look at Belisle's numbers and realize he only had 8 walks and 49 strikeouts, that's rather remarkable. However, the opposition is hitting .272 against him. Slider chased and missed, and that's the inning. No runs, 1 hit. Dodgers leave 2 more, and at the end of 8, 2-0 Colorado. who was in sand spot. So Andre becomes the third right fielder tonight. Jerry Sands, Juan Rivera, and now Andre. Brandon League comes to take over on the mound. When Cruz struck out, leaving runners at first and second, especially Rivera, who is in scoring position, the Dodgers are now, with runners in scoring position, 0 for 8 with 1 double play and 5 strikeouts. Thoroughly frustrating for the Dodgers because they know the Giants lost, first base is open, and the Diamondbacks lost. So comfort from behind. Instead, they're down, and in the 9th inning, League pitches to Matt McBride, Chris Nelson, and Jonathan Herrera. A strike. McBride flied to right, flied to left, grounded into a double play. Came up Saturday after 6.5 years in the minors. No balls, 1 strike. Fastball, check swing, but it's a swing, says Mike Estabrook. So McBride in a hole, 0-2. Brandon League, who was originally signed by the Blue Jays, lives in Honolulu. With the Blue Jays, he spent 3 years with the Mariners and then came to the Dodgers. 0-2. And sinker takes care of McBride. 1 out in the 9th inning. Be sure to follow the Dodgers with MLB.com at bat 12 for your iPhone, iPad, BlackBerry, Android, and Windows Mobile. Get live audio, pitch tracking, video highlights, and a heck of a lot more. Text @BAT to 31826 or visit Dodgers.com for details. Chris Nelson fouled out to right, grounded to third, struck out in the 6th inning. Ball 1. There is a baseball expression for pitchers with really good stuff. They'll say, what kind of a pitcher is he? And they say, he's filthy. It has nothing to do with anything but the flight of the ball. When Brandon League was coming over here, we heard 2 expressions, really dirty and filthy. 2-0 the count. Brandon, 6'3", 195, 29, from Sacramento, but lives in Honolulu. 2-1. One out in the 9th, 2 runs, 9 hits for the Rockies. They've had a lot of men on base. Three and 1. Brandon League, going way back, played for Team USA's junior squad. As you would expect, he was a surfer in Hawaii. Victorino said he wasn't. Shot right up the middle. So Chris Nelson, single up the middle to go 1 for 4. And the batter will be Jonathan Herrera.
Coming to the plate, shortstop, Jonathan Herrera.
So League collects the 10th hit as he gives it up. And Jonathan Herrera struck out, single to left, grounded to short, 1 for 3. A.J. Cruz going out to talk. Tyler Colvin, left-hand hitter, is out on deck. He would bat for Belisle. Jonathan Herrera 1 for 3, hitting .257. 3 home runs, 7 runs batted in. Now Rick Honeycutt is going out to talk to League. Remember, Brandon just coming over. He doesn't know very many National League hitters, and it's certainly the first time that he's made an appearance against the Rockies. So Honeycutt goes out. You make sure you know what you're doing about how to pitch. Yeah, all right. Jonathan basically brings a fastball that he throws very hard. At one time, he's been clocked as high as 99. He has a sharp curve, circle change. A few years ago, he added a splitter and dropped the changeup. He also changed his delivery. He had dropped his arm, and then Mike Fetters, who used to pitch for the Dodgers at one time, Fetters got him back to pitching over the top. So Herrera, and there goes the run, a hit and run foul ball. So back to first goes Chris Nelson. Both men checking with Rich Dower. See if that hit and run play is on again. Oh, and 1. Nelson just 1 for 2 in stolen bases and league off the rubber. With Herrera, he has only struck out going into this game 20 times, so 21. So you can put a play on since he's pretty much of a contact hitter. 0 and 1. Nelson not going, foul ball, and the count goes 0 and 2. To look ahead when the Dodgers come up in the 9th inning, they are due to send up the catcher A.J. Ellis, James Loney, who pinch hit and stayed in the game, and then Shane Victorino. Matt Belisle made 25 pitches, and he'll be giving way to Bettencourt. 0 and 2. They'll keep an eye on Chris. Tyler Colvin on deck to bat for Belisle. 1 out. Foul that sinker back. Still 0 and 2. League, they tell me, has been clocked as high as 101. But he really doesn't like that. He doesn't like to throw that hard. It's the two-seamer that really does the damage. A lot of sink to it, like that last pitch. 0 and 2. Nelson not going. Fly ball, slicing, foul back into the crowd. So Herrera still up there, 0 and 2. As a switch hitter, he's hitting 300 as a left-hand batter. When he hits right-handed, he's hitting 100. Oh and 2. Another foul ball. Well, as we said, he doesn't strike out very often. He did strike out in the second inning, and League is certainly trying to put him away. Herrera has grounded into 4 double plays, but he's only been in 50 games. We'll watch Nelson not going. And a little flare into right center. That's a base hit. Over to get it is Ethier, coming all the way to third with a needless help turf slide goes Chris Nelson. So a flare single kind of into right center. Now first and third, 1 out, and Tyler Colvin coming up. So a key single by Herrera, and that's pretty good battle because he kept fouling off 0 and 2. Mattingly now is asking for time. He's going to go to the bullpen. He's had Randy Choate and Jamie Wright. So Tyler Colvin has been the announced hitter, but he now goes back into the dugout. He's a left-handed batter. So if they bring in Choate, you figure that Tommy Reynolds will make a change. And we'll be right back. 2-0 lead in the 9th inning. Interesting, you look at the numbers and it always boils down. Let's bring the left-hander in to pitch to the left-hand batter. Then you look at the numbers and you see that Tyler Colvin is actually hitting better against left-hand pitching. Statistically, at least, he's hitting .283 against left, .279 right. Colvin is hitting .283 as he checks in right now at this very moment. Big breaking ball away. 0-1. Randy Choate, a veteran. He'll be 37 in September, from San Antonio. Went to school at Florida State, drafted by the Yankees. Tyler Colvin, he went to school at Clemson. He's a Georgia boy, born in Augusta, but lives now in South Carolina. Waving at that big breaking ball again. 0-2. Colvin will be 27 in September, 6'3", 200, basically an outfielder. Meanwhile, first and third, one out. 0-2. Another one of those, but way off the plate. Colvin has struck out 66 times. He's about at 260 plate appearances. Roughly 25%. 1-2. Big curve, that's all he got, and down he goes. So the Dodgers are frustrated because they're not able to score. The Rockies have had 11 hits. They've had men everywhere. They're fortunate to have 2 runs. And Mattingly now figures to make another move. You have the switch hitting Eric Young coming up. He's had Jamie Wright. And here comes Big Jamie. So Eric Young, the switch hitter, will be coming up. As far as his numbers, he's hitting .241 left and .333 right, but only a few at-bats right-handed. We'll be right back. You know, both teams are really frustrated, but the Dodgers far more so than Colorado. Colorado at least leading 2-0. They've left 6. The Dodgers are trailing 2-0. They can't do anything with runners in scoring position, and they have left 10. And we're now in the top of the 9th. So here's EY with 3 hits, 3 for 4. Runners at first and third, 2 out, and Jamie Wright. Ball 1. Jamie Wright coming in with a runner at third, and we always check. He has 2 wild pitches. Dodgers have struggled with the Rockies. They have an edge in the season series, but not much. 5 games to 4. Fouled off, 1-1 to count. EY single to left and scored. Single to center and scored. Popped up and singled in the 7th inning and was left. So he's up there with Nelson at third, Herrera at first. 2 out on strikeouts. 1-1. And a comebacker. So that's 2 more left for the Rockies. They have now left 8. Dodgers have left 10, and they'll be coming up in the bottom of the 9th with Ellis, Loney, and Victorino, and we'll be back. Tyler Colvin, who batted for Matt Belisle, stays in the game at first base. Rafael Betancourt, the closer, comes in. He would go into McBride's spot. Betancourt, 6'2", 200, 37 years old, out of Cumana in Venezuela. He was originally signed by the Boston Red Sox, and as a kid growing up in Venezuela, his hero was Omar Vizquel. But he went to pitching and has made a nice living out of it. Basically, a good fastball, a decent curveball, and we'll see how he goes. In looking at his numbers, he'll be facing A.J. Ellis. Betancourt 1 in 3. He has walked 10 and struck out 39. A.J. Ellis walked, hit by a pitch, and reached on the error by Matt McBride in the 7th inning. So it's been Pomerantz, Ottavino, Belisle, and Betancourt. Ellis hitting .286, 10 home runs, 33 runs batted in. And ball 1. In looking at the scores between these two teams, no shutouts. There have been some tough games. Dodgers won 2-1 here in Los Angeles. Dodgers lost 3-2 in Colorado. Right. 1 ball and 1 strike. The runaway games, Dodgers won 11-5 and Colorado won 13-3. So here they are pushing and shove. 9th inning. 2-0 Rockies. Ellis, Loney, Victorino. 1-2. Big 92-mile-an-hour fastball hurrying up. Betancourt fidgets, maybe not as much as Lou Burdette many years ago with the Braves, where they used to say Lou Burdette made coffee nervous. But Betancourt will wear that cap out. 1-2. 2-2. He's throwing at 92. Watch him. He takes a lot of time between pitches. He always has. Does that give you a little fidgety? Two balls and 2 strikes. Pop foul, out of play. So 5 pitches so far. 2-2 the count to A.J. Ellis. Waiting is Loney and then Victorino. Rocky scored in the first inning. 2 singles by Young and Pacheco, and Gonzalez a sacrifice fly. 3 consecutive singles by Young, Fowler, and Pacheco produced the second run, and that's it. And here we are in the bottom of the 9th. Breaking ball missed. Big overhand curve. Three and 2. Betancourt with 17 saves. Waiting, Victorino, who hits behind Loney, who's on deck. Time. Yeah, I think he ties Lou Burdette. Three and 2. And a drive into the gap, heading towards the wall and racing over his Cargo to make the catch. Nice play by Carlos Gonzalez. He got a good jump on the ball, obviously, otherwise that thing is against the wall in left center. So a long out on a drive to the gap, and there goes Cargo. He had to not only go back, but over to his left. Fine play. 1 away in the 9th. Gold Glove 2 years ago. He can do it all. Now James Loney, who appeared as a pinch hitter and flied to left field in the 7th inning. Remember, the starter, Drew Pomeranz, only went 4. He did not go the required 5, so he has nothing to do with winning his game. Ball 1. Ottavino came in and picked up for 3. Then Belisle for 1, and now Betancourt. For the Dodgers, Capuano, Tollison, League, and Choate. And then Wright. In there. Giants lost to the Cardinals 8-2. The Birds pounded Matt Cain. And Arizona shut down by Pittsburgh 4-0. 2-1. We told you Betancourt's numbers are pretty impressive. 10 walks, 39 strikeouts. Just a hair under 4-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. That fouled away. 32,659. And on a Monday night, as you can well expect, quite a few folks heading for home, but a lot of others are hanging tough. 2-2. Tomorrow night, Aaron Harang and Alex White. Wednesday night, Jeff Francis and Chad Billingsley. 2-2. And a fly ball to left. At the other end of it is Gonzalez. So the Dodgers now are down to their last out. They are faced with the unhappy prospect of being shut out. Dodgers have been shut out 3 times at home and 9 times all told. Two out, 9th inning, 2-0 Rockies. They have 2 runs on 11 hits. Dodgers no runs, 5 hits, and that's a strike. Victorino single to center, got to third. Walked in the 3rd inning and got to third. Grounded out, single to center, and stayed at first. 0-1. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Rockies are not only trying to snap their 3-game losing streak, they're also trying to bring down the Dodgers' 3-game winning streak. They're also trying to put a roadblock up and prevent the Dodgers from moving into first place. And should they get the last out, the last place Colorado Rockies in the Western Division will have split 10 with the second place Dodgers, who are a half back of the Giants. Two and one. And that's popped up. It will be Tyler Colvin, the first baseman. That's it. The Dodgers are blank on a night where they could have moved into first place. 2 runs, 11 hits, 1 error for the Rockies. No runs, 5 hits, and no errors for the Dodgers. Rafael Betancourt closes it up and makes 16 pitches. And the Dodgers bite the dust. And the season series now is split 5 games each. Don't forget tomorrow night, Alex White, Aaron Harang. That'll be on KCAL 9. Till then, stay tuned for Dodgers Live coming up next. Good night, everybody.